Now I'm live. Hey guys, it's Melody Lane here, and thank you all for joining me. I have a few announcements that if you don't follow me on Facebook, or maybe just not in my group, I'm not sure where I posted it, but Cricut Design Space 3 is going to be out of beta on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. So if you haven't tried Cricut Design Space 3, you try it. It's easy. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And it's what you're going to have to use. There may be some bugs. I don't know. There's only one problem I have with and it's only on a Mac with the print options, but they're working on that and they're going to fix that. And Jamie, you made it. I didn't think you'd make it this early over there. Thank you everyone for joining and making it this early. Hi, Bobby. I want to give everybody a shout out, but the people watching the replay hate it when I do that. I think they come to learn, and you guys are here to learn, so I want to get down to learning. I am going to be reading the comments. As you can see, when my eyes go that way, that's what I'm doing. Good morning, Barbara and Barbara, Jennifer, Linda, Fantastic Crafts, Ashley. All of your comments are in the screen. Good morning, Joan. So thank you all for joining. You can't hear and it's laggy. Huh. Let me check my... Let me see if I can change the settings. No. Please turn off the app. Okay, is it? It's working fine. You guys can hear me okay? Okay, so we're good now? You guys can hear me? Everything's good. Okay, I'm trusting you guys. This tells me it's bad for some reason. Hi, Donna. Okay. So for those of you who just jumped in, Cricut Design Space Beta is going live on Tuesday. You will not be able to switch back to the old Design Space 2. If you can't hear me, refresh your page. I'm not sure why some can hear and some are not. Okay, we're gonna do this first.
You are watching Melody Lane. With me you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Okay, I see the question, will we need to remove the old Design Space? No, it just updates automatically. There's nothing you need to do. There will be maybe a message or something to download the plugin. That's all you have to do is follow the instructions. There's nothing else you need to do. Okay. Okay, thanks guys. All right, now most of you can hear me, so I'm really sorry if you can't. If you have questions on the replay, ask in the comments below. I do try to answer every single comment, question, always. I try to reply to all the comments, especially the questions. So I try to help you as much as possible. And so I'm going to, let's get started. Okay, here's Design Space 3. And here's me in the corner. So this is Design Space 3. First thing I do is actually I go here. This is where I go. If you can see in the address bar and you cannot see my mouse, I do not know how to fix that. If somebody knows how to fix that in OBS software, please let me know. I will research that so you guys can see that. But because you can't see my mouse, I will try to tell you where I'm talking about. Up in the URL, design.cricut.com/hashtag/design/new. That's just where I go for Cricut Design Space all the time. And my browser remembers things that I've been to, so all I have to do is type in design, and it'll pop up as a choice, so I just click on that. That's how I get there. I'm not sure if it's going to go to the old address of, I know the old Cricut Design Space, all I have to do is type in Canvas in my URL, and it comes up with the Cricut Design Space 2. I don't know if that's going to change. We'll just have to see what happens on Tuesday. Also Tuesday, 24 hours of crafts. Also Tuesday, Amazon Prime Day, where it's almost like Black Friday, but it's all in Amazon Prime. You have to have Amazon Prime to get the special deals. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I can give you a link, and then everything you buy from that link, I will get a small commission on. It costs you nothing more, but it really helps me out being able to give you these videos. I also want to apologize for not having a video. Let me go back and show you something. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I haven't started yet. Okay, I did a live video in my group Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane, and I showed how to do this card. I have been editing this card video. I did it live in there, and so I'm taking that video and making it much shorter because it was over 2 hours. And if you want to watch the 2-hour video, it's there, but I want to make it much shorter so you can see just me doing this card. So I used the new Cricut paper, and I made this card. Look, I made a little pond, sneak peek. This video was supposed to be out Tuesday. Last Tuesday. Sorry about that. My computer crashed. I spent 3 hours on 4th of July with Apple support. We decided I just need to reformat my computer because even their supervisors couldn't help me. So then I spent 3 more hours doing that, and then I had to upload everything, and then I started working on the video the next day, and then it was Friday, and I was still working on the video, and now it's Saturday. So I apologize for that. But look at this card. It's a pop-up card. Love that paper. So, the card's not even finished. I have something that goes on the front here too. So I'm hoping to get that video out on Monday because Tuesday, there's so much going on. You don't have time to watch my video on Tuesday. So I really am going to try to get it out on Monday so you guys can watch that, and then there will not be a video on Tuesday. I don't think. There may be another live video on Monday. Monday, I get my Cricut Bright Pad and the new weeding tools. So I may do a live unboxing and a live testing out. I have materials already cut on glitter iron-on so we can see how well the Bright Pad really is in person. Okay. How is everything going? How is the video and audio? Are we good? Because this is my first time. I did a little test earlier and it seemed to work fine. This is my first time since I had to reformat my computer using this live in video. I did a test, it was okay. Joan says you literally worked your computer to death. Yes, I did. Kyle Daniel Crafts is watching me from his local Apple store. I have to give Apple a shout out because my computer is 18 months old. It's not under warranty anymore. And they spent all that time with me on the phone, walked me through everything. I've never reformatted a computer before. It was so easy. They just walked me through it and it was great. I paid nothing. And it's like my computer is brand new. So just a little shout out to Apple. Okay, everything's working great. Let's get back to Design Space. Okay, I want to kind of talk about how I fell in love with Design Space. Don't worry, it's not a long story. Most of you know this, a lot of you know this. They gave me Design Space before they gave it to anybody else. They gave it to some other people too, and I'm not sure how they gave it to them or if they gave them instructions. I just talked to one person at Cricut and explained how my Cricut craft room videos have helped so many, and I was looking forward to using Design Space so I could do more tutorials on that to teach them that. And I didn't expect to get access to Cricut Design Space until the public did. And he went ahead and gave it to me. He gave it to me and that's it. He gave me a way to log in and use Design Space. No instruction at all. None. So it looked a lot different than this. I still have my older videos on. Somebody just commented on one of my really old videos and they're like, wow, Design Space has changed a lot. And it really has. And it will continue to change. When Design Space 3 is out of beta, that's not the end. They keep updating. There's gonna be more features. All those features you asked about, they wanna give them to us. So once they get this up and running, they're gonna continue to improve it. They're gonna continue to give us more features that we're asking for. So don't think, oh no, it doesn't have curved text. Well, I think they're working on that. I don't know. They didn't tell me. They don't tell us things they don't want you to know. So in my head, just my opinion, I think they will. I think they will bring back the canvas because they seem to do what we want. Amelia's asking, will there be a mystery box out this month? Yes, there will be a mystery box out. I don't know when. As soon as they let me know and let me tell you, I tell you. I share links. I share the video of what's in the mystery box. If you buy it through my link, I do get a small commission, and that's why I'm able to spend my weeks doing this and not having to go to a full-time job. Linda Cronin says, I don't think you can notice me. I notice you. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. When you have questions, try to put them in caps so I can go to there first, because sometimes they're just chit-chat back and forth on the chat. Rosia says, how long is this video? I tried to keep it under an hour, but I'd like to keep it for a half hour, but as there's more questions, I'm going to show you what you need to know, and then as more questions come, I will answer the questions. Okay, how I fell in love with Design Space. Okay, now, as I said, they just gave it to me with no instructions. All I could do was click on buttons and find out what they did. I didn't know what the things meant, but the first thing that I loved was I clicked on, at the time it was insert images. And if you ever use the old Cricut machines, you had to look through the books, pick an image, put it on the screen, choose the size, and then you had to find the other layers, all separately. You had to push all these different buttons to find the layers. Let's go ahead and bring this to the mat. This is the butterfly. If you click the little eye, it tells you this one's from Disney Classics, and it tells you the number of the image. So I'm going to insert this. This is what I fell in love with because I hated trying to find the layers. I had to look in the book and see if I was getting all the layers. I had to figure out the size. It was a lot to learn, and I don't think I ever really learned it well. This is what made me fall in love. I can size it to any size I want, as long as it fits on the mat. And the layers are already there. They're there already. I do not have to go search the images for the layers that match this one. Now, those of you that have never had the old Cricut have no idea what I'm talking about, but this was incredible at the time when Design Space first came out. For me, it was. I just loved it. It was the most amazing thing that I could just bring the image out. I could choose not to cut different images. It was great. Does anybody else feel the same way I do when they had their old one? Okay, going back to some of the questions. You're asking about our old projects and designs from the old Cricut Design Space. Will they be in the new one? Yes, they should already be there. If they're not there, if you're having a problem, then call Cricut support because they're there for most people. Yeah, your projects have already transferred over. Susan's asking, what do you do with the layers? This is one of the things that I want you to teach yourself. I want you to teach yourself everything. I want you to do what I did. Go in there, click buttons, put this on the screen. What do I do with it? You want to cut it out, you click Make It. Over in the top right corner, the green button says Make It. So let's go ahead and click Make It. So then it shows you the different mats. Now you could do this in paper, or you could do this in vinyl, or you could do it in leather, different colors of leather. That would be really pretty. This could be a great embellishment. This would be a pretty embellishment to do in leather and put on a card. So if you've never used Cricut Design Space, I suggest to start with paper, just to start to learn how it works. Just do it. That's the best way to learn, is to play and do it. So pick an image with layers. Try that, just like this. Then you put, this is showing you to put yellow paper on this mat. This one's showing you to put blue paper on the mat. And this one is showing you to put pink paper on the mat. You don't have to use a whole 12 by 12 sheet of paper. You only need to cover the images. So you could do I would do like a 4.5 by 4.5 or 5 by 5 piece of paper on your mat and cut it out. Then you have the pieces. You have all the pieces cut out. I'm just going to go back. And then I come to here. I come to look at the image, see what it's supposed to look like. So I see black is on the bottom, and then I just layer it. If you look in the layers panel, it shows you the bottom one is on the bottom of the layers panel. Look over to the right in the layers panel. So you have black down first, then you'd glue the blue down, then the yellow, then the pink. And you made your first project. Well, besides the project that they walked you through. It's really easy. Did I answer the question on the layers? Okay, I have cut things out, but I haven't figured out what the layer thing means. The layers are just the different colors. You layer them on top of each other. Jason is asking, how do I get the old DS2 quick link out of the top of the menu bar on my Mac? I don't know. Just being honest. I don't know. I don't even click on those. I don't use those. When it switches over out of beta, maybe it'll switch automatically. Possibly. Otherwise, I don't know. I just do it like I showed you in the beginning, is I just go to my browser and type in design and it takes me there. Can you move the black layer? You can make the black layer disappear, and that's what you have, and it's not connected. You can ungroup. At the top of the layers panel, there's a button that says ungrouped, and you can ungroup these and move them all out of the way. And somebody wants me to explain the difference between weld, slice, group, and attach. I have done that in so many videos. I will do it again, but I want you to learn on your own. Okay, we are going to select all of these and just delete them. I just click the X in the top corner, and I'm going to work with just shapes. And change the color. So if you don't, and I know this is a huge question many people ask, they don't know what slice, weld, and attach, mainly weld and attach. What's the difference? Well, if you don't know the difference, for all of these on the bottom of the layers panel, those buttons, there's slice, weld, attach, flatten, and contour. None of them are lit up. So I click on them, nothing happens. So I click on one image, they still don't light up. So that means we have to select another image. I can just draw a box over both images and it selects them both. Now they all light up except for contour. So contour must be something different. Design Space does update on its own. Okay, so if you want to know what these do, click the buttons. You need to play. You need to learn. That's how I learned. That's how many people learn. And many people think it's more difficult or think they're going to break something or mess something up. Up at the top next to the new button is the undo button. That is your favorite button. It's my favorite button because if I do something and it's not what I wanted, just go back and click undo. You can undo many times. So if you've done a lot and you're like, oh no, this isn't working out at all, I want to go way back, just keep clicking undo. So if you don't know what these mean, the only way to learn is to do. I can show you, I will show you, but you have to do it yourself. Uh-oh, my comments are stuck. You have to do it yourself. You have to learn how things work by doing them. Just me telling you is not going to teach you how to do it. It's going to show you how to do it, but it's not going to stick in your brain until you do it. So let's just start with the first button, slice. I got two images. Let's pull them apart, see what happens. So that's what slice does. It cuts things out. Let's undo. Okay, so now we have these two images. And there's many reasons to slice. Slicing that out of that, there's no reason to really do that. But I'm just going to show you what the things mean, and then we can go back and maybe give you some examples of why to use these. Okay, so now let's go to the next button, weld. So if you look over here in the layers panel, you can see it's only one image now. It all moves together. There's no cut line here anymore. It's only the outside shape. Let's undo it. Look in the layers panel. There are two different ones. There's a circle and a square. When you select them both and you click weld, it changes it to one image. It is now one image. You cannot unweld it unless you undo, because it has merged. It has merged to one image. There's no unwelding. Sometimes if it's something you may want to unweld again, or maybe you're welding something with a name and you sell these and you want to be able to change the name again, then duplicate it. Select it, click the duplicate at the top of the layers panel. It duplicates it. You can hide it, so you can always go back to it. And then you can weld these. Okay, are there any questions on slice and weld? Okay, I'll come back if there's more questions. I know there's a delay. Okay, so we're gonna undo this again. So let's select them both again. Let's try attach. Attach is at the bottom in the middle. I'm gonna click attach. Okay, it changed them to the same color, but what else did it do? It kind of does that. Well, it also does that when you group it. And a lot of people ask, what's the difference of weld and attach? Notice there's a cut line. You can still see where the circle is going to cut out, and you can still see both images over here. So it's not welded. It's not one image. It's still going to cut out. This circle is going to be cut out complete. This square is going to have the circle cut out of it. So you're not going to have a complete circle, or you're not going to have a complete square. You will have a complete circle. They're going to cut on the same mat. You cannot change the color of one and not the other. When you change the color of just one image, it changes them both because they're attached. Now, this could be what's the difference of attach or slice, because in this case, they're more like each other because it's going to cut this out. This you can't move around. If it's sliced, you can separate the pieces, and I'll show you reasons to use the slice and attach differently also. They do different things with fonts and text and stuff. They do multiple things. Okay, let's go back. It's going to be a lot of undoing. Okay. Whoops. Okay, we're back here again. Okay, now let's select them both and flatten. Now, this is something I'm telling you to do. Put some basic shapes on there. Click the buttons. If you don't remember what something does, try it. If it's not what you thought, undo. I know many of you ask questions in the Facebook groups. That's what they're for. They're to learn and ask questions. But instead of waiting for someone to answer, you could try it yourself in just a few seconds and learn how it does. And the more you learn, the more you try different things, the more it's going to stick into your head and the easier it's going to be for you. So let's click flatten. So if you notice, those black lines are missing from the outside. It changed both of them to print. Let's undo. Do you see the difference? See, there's like a black line. Let me change this color. Okay, it's not letting me change the color. Oh, I'm on the wrong one that's hidden. That's why. Okay, just make it pink. See the black lines around it? When I select them both and do flatten, that turns them both to print and makes them one image, kind of like weld, but they're different colors, and it will print them. Now, there's no way of changing the color of this now. If you unflatten, the flatten button then turns into unflatten, so I can unflatten it. It keeps them both still as print, but I can change the color. Now, they're not going to print the same. Like, let's click make it. They're going to print like that. They're going to print separately. Let's go back. Okay, now let's flatten again and click flatten and go to make it and see the difference. Are these buttons cut off? Let me move this up. There. That's better. Sorry, guys. Okay. There's thunder. I'm in thunderstorms today. And I just want to say, you guys, look how lit up I am. If you didn't see my video of my free craft room lighting, this is my lighting. It's storming outside, and I don't have any lights on in my house. None. This is the light from my solar tubes. So I have a video on those solar tubes and how awesome they are. Just a side note. Okay. Yes, the video will stay here after live. They all do. I have 4 other. I do this. Let me say I do this every Saturday. I try to keep it at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I have 4 other videos, and I have a playlist of those videos, and I will add them to the end of this video on a little card, the end screen thing, where you can click that, and I will also add it into a card where at the top, where's up here? There's will be, if you scroll over the video with your mouse, there'll be a little eye, and you click that, and it will take you to other videos I recommend. In the top one, I will make the playlist for all of these videos. Okay, somebody's asking, great question, Jennifer. These are I need your questions to help you learn better, because I know how they all work, and I don't know what you're thinking of how they work. So Jennifer was asking, let me put it here. I'm sorry, what does flatten do that attach doesn't do? Flatten changes it to print. Flatten puts it as one image. So it kind of looks the same, but flatten is printing. So if you're not printing, you do not flatten. So that is the difference. Okay. Let me go ahead and bring these up. I don't need these for now. Okay, let's go over these again with some text. Hey. Okay. Now, in a bunch of my other videos, I showed you how to do text in that. I'm going to try to not go over everything over again. You can watch all my videos, all of my videos. I try to teach you as much as possible in each video. Just because the title or description does not tell you everything you're going to learn a lot more in them. And I go over this stuff in so many videos. So let's do this. I'm going to add a basic shape. I had a question one time how to make a rectangle because it's not in the basic shapes. First thing to do when you have design space, put a basic shape or an image or anything. Check out what these do. What does this one do? Oh, it made it disappear. I'll just undo and get it back. Click on it. What does this one do in the corner? Oh, and something I've asked, what do you guys want to learn, are shortcuts. So remind me, I'll do shortcuts in just a few minutes. I'm going to hold down the shift key and click this rotate, and it rotates it on a certain angle. So it will always be straight. So I'm just holding down the shift key. Now without the shift key, I can do this and it might not be exactly what I want. I'm just going to undo to get it back. This button unlocks it. That means you can use this green button at the bottom right. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see. So I just clicked on the lock on the bottom left corner of the square. Now I'm clicking on the green button with the arrows on the bottom right corner. You can make this any shape you want. You can make this a tiny little line, which is sometimes needed in some designs. Like if you want a little line like that that will cut out like that, you can make it any size, anything you want, okay? So let me change the color. So when I change the color, I'm clicking on it in the layers panel. So let's bring this in. Oh, I can't see it. I'm going to have to go up here to edit. No, that's not edit. Oh, arrange. Sorry, I was looking for a line. Got confused. And I knew it wasn't lit up, so there was something wrong. I was looking for the wrong button. So click arrange, move to front. Now, I have not edited this word at all, so this word will stay as one piece. And I can select them both. And now I can either slice, weld, or attach. Okay, I just looked at chat. Belinda's asking, wouldn't you separate the flatten to be able to print separate layers? Yes, you would. If you want the different layers printed separately, you separate them. You don't flatten them together. All you need to do is print them, change them to print. You don't need to flatten. Okay. And we'll get to contour. Yeah, Jennifer, if you're confused on something, just try it. Just do what I'm doing, and it'll click to you yourself. Vanessa, you cannot use design space in the baby Cricut. You can go use design space to look at the images, but you can't use them to cut or anything. Okay, so I have these both selected. You can tell they're both selected by looking in the layers panel. This is one of the huge mistakes. People say, my slice isn't lit up, or my weld isn't lit up or attached. It's because both of your images are not selected. You guys can see that the purple square is selected because of the handles on the outside, but you can't really tell that the word is selected unless you look in the layers panel. Now, if I just have the square selected, it looks the same on the canvas, but you can see over in the layers panel it's not selected. So now they're both selected. Now I can slice. You can only slice 2 images. If you have 3, it won't work. If you are slicing it with something that's grouped, even if it's hidden, it won't work. If you're slicing it with something attached, like if a score line is attached to a card, you can't do it. You have to detach. You have to ungroup. It can only be 2 layers. This word hey is 1 layer because you can see over in the layers panel, it only takes up 1 little layer. It's not a separate H, E, and Y. If it was, it would not let you attach. So it looks the same. We sliced it. You got to move these out of the way. Some people have said it's not working, it's not doing anything, but they didn't move it out of the way to see. So this is what slice does. It cuts it out. I make many, many different shapes with slice. I make many cards and different kinds of cards by welding and slicing and attaching to create my own images. With all these shapes, you can create anything you want. Just play around with it. If you see a shape or see something that is not in here, create it yourself. Let me show you what, something that I do a lot, and I just did it yesterday to finish this card, the thing that's going to go in the front. I just wanted to make a little tag. And so here's how I did it. I just put that like that. I took this, hit the shift key, rotated it this way, moved this over here. Now I wanted it centered, so I selected them both and clicked align. Align is at the very top between edit and arrange. So clicked align, and then I centered vertically. That means it's going to center it up and down. So center vertically. Must have already had it centered. So make sure they're both selected and then slice. This is the shape I wanted. So this is what I'm going to put on the front of that card. It's going to say this, and then I attached thank you written on top of it. So let's go back. So this is one way to use slice. That is very useful. Okay, so now they're two separate again. Let's go over everything again so you can see weld. It makes it one image, kind of an arrow. You can make your own arrows really easy. So now that is an arrow. It's one image. It only takes up one space. Let's go back. Select them both again. Attach. Now, attaching this and slicing this it's almost the same thing because it's still going to cut out. I'm still going to get this shape that I want. But it's also going to cut out this diamond part that I don't need. That might take up more paper that I don't need. And it just depends on what you're doing. It all depends on different things. So that kind of does the same thing. And if I flatten it, it kind of does the same thing as weld. Well, because they're the same color. If they were different, let's change the color just so you can see. Oh, wait. Oh, they're welded. Are they welded? No. Oh, they're attached. Okay, I'm going to click detach. Okay. And how I knew that they were attached is because I changed one color because I forgot to detach them, and they both changed, so I knew something was not correct. Cricut Design Space wasn't doing anything wrong. I was. So when I do something wrong, I, think, oh, I must have, let's figure out what the problem is. So if I saw the detach button, I know they're attached. So let's flatten. So then they're gonna print together just like this. Now, if I don't want them flattened, let's undo. If I just wanted them to print separately and cut out each image, then I would just click on the scissors and change them to print. Am I going too fast? I feel like I'm just going all over the place. But does that help people understand the difference a little bit? And we're going to do it here too. Oh, we're not going back to all that. Okay, we got this word. Let's delete that. Add another shape. Unlock it. Okay. So let's arrange this to the front. And here's one thing that I think a lot of people have trouble with is they sell stuff. They make things and sell them, and then they have an order for something and they're not sure how to do it. Don't rush and upset yourself because there's something that you don't know how to do. Make sure you learn all the basics first. Make sure you play. If you're waiting for your Cricut to come, go into Design Space. You don't need Design Space. Like you don't need to wait for your Cricut to get Design Space. If you don't have a Cricut Explorer, you can use Design Space. You can't cut with it, but you can play with it. You can learn. You can test things out. Learn it before you go in there and need to do something really fast. You're going to frustrate yourself because you don't know how to do it. You have to learn first. Okay, Liz, yes, I will show you how to use the writing feature. Yeah, I have lots of videos on the print function, but let's select these both and let me flatten. You can see over in the layers panel, it changes it to one word. I click make it. And then I just click continue and print. It sends it to your printer and cuts it. Then you take that paper from your printer, put it on your mat and upload it to the Cricut. And then you click on the mat or click on the computer, I think. I don't remember. You figure it out. If there's a button on the software to click continue or cut or go, click that, or just upload it into your machine, see what happens. If the button's not blinking, then go to the software and figure out what you need to do, and then go back to your machine. That's how you learn. One thing that I think is stopping so many people is they don't know how to do it. Like, it's so hard to explain. They don't know what weld does, so they're not going to touch it. Or they don't know what slice does, so they're not going to touch it. Or the machine's not cutting, so something's broken. They don't know what to do. Look at the machine. Many times I do this. The cut button is blinking and I forget to push it. I upload my mat and sometimes I'm doing something else or going to Facebook and I'm like, why isn't this cutting? And I think some people just get frustrated that my Cricut's not working. Look at your machine, look at the software, see what's not working. You have to think of all these different factors. Shirley, I just know, I'm not reading all the text or all the comments yet, but when writing in beta 3, it will stop if the text is too long. They fixed that. On big projects, Design Space 3 would push your mat out and stop cutting or stop writing, but they fixed that now, and that is now working. So you can do bigger projects in Design Space 3 just like you could in Design Space 2. Now, there still may be a limit, but they did fix the big project thing. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now this is flattened. I'm just going to undo to make it not flattened. Our favorite button, undo. Okay, attach. We selected both and attach. They changed to the same color, and these are going to cut out just like it would do if it was slice. Slicing this and attaching this really is no difference, except for you can't remove the hay. But like if you were doing a design and you wanted to be able to see the hole through it, then you want to slice it. Slice and attach can be very different. And I'll show you that too. And I can detach. It still stays the same color, but you can always change the color to whatever you want. Right, Sue. She says the reason I stop attempting things is because I'm going to waste materials. Then again, they are wasted if I don't try. Very true. But you don't have to cut everything out. You just go, click make it now and see what happens. That's how I learned. I tried something and then I would click the go button, which was in the old Design Space, just to see what happened. It doesn't mean you have to cut it. Also, you can try on cheaper papers. If you're trying to do vinyl or learn to layer vinyl or learn to mirror it, try it with contact paper. Contact paper is much cheaper. It's easy to remove. I had a question not too long ago about they were having problems understanding how to mirror. They want to put something on glass, on the inside of glass, and see it from the outside and 2 layers. And they're really having trouble comprehending how to layer it and how to make it so you could read it. Actually, all you have to do is create it the way you want it in Design Space. Okay, let me try to explain that. Hey there. We're gonna do this, okay? I want this one on top, so I'm gonna arrange that to the front. Let's say this was gonna be a vinyl project. So let's hide this. Can you guys hear that rain? So it's gonna cut out on their separate mats. And all you have to do is click mirror. Mirror is over to the right. It says mirror for iron on. Even if you're not ironing on, you're putting it on the other side of glass. So it's gonna be the same thing. So now, I don't know if you guys can see this, the words are backwards. Oh, you gotta use mirror for each mat. I forgot that. I don't use that much. I don't do a lot of words in iron on. So for each mat, you have to click the iron on button. Okay, and then let's go back to look at what we're doing. We want this to show first, the hey. So the sticky part is going to be on the top of the word because we mirrored it. So then you'd put the hey down, and then you'd put the there on top of it. How do you edit text after you type something? I always have to delete and type all over again. It depends on what you've done with it. So let's take this word hey. We're going to double click it. I think. Oh, because I sliced it, I can't change it. Do you see over here? Do you see over here in the layers panel, the slice result? Because that's been sliced, I can't change it. So I didn't realize that, like I knew that, but I forgot that we had sliced this. So I'm like clicking it. So in my head, it's not working properly. Something's not wrong with Design Space. Something I'm not doing right. What did I do? So I look over here. I'm like, oh, I forgot I sliced it. So let's move this out of the way. Let's go to there. So I'm going to double click that and I can change the lettering. There it is. I can change the font. I can still do everything I needed to do before. I can move the letters closer. I can put this in 2 lines. I can move the lines closer. I'm clicking the line spacing. And to move them closer, I click the letter spacing. I can do the alignment, so I can center them. And I can still go in there and edit it. Now, advanced over here, the button all the way to the right at the top of the edit panel, you can ungroup to letters or you can ungroup to lines. Let me change the font to something that has multiple layers. And something you can still see easily. Okay. That one you can't see that well. Maybe this one. Okay, so all you see is the red. I'm going to unhide the yellow. Okay, so it says there is. So if I were to ungroup to letter, I can ungroup to letters, ungroup to lines, or ungroup to layers. Ungroup to layers means that layer is ungrouped and now this one is ungrouped. I can click on that and I can still change what it says. For this one, that one didn't change because they're separated. And I can also click on this one and change what that says. Louisa's asking, how did I figure out it was sliced by looking at the layers panel? Because if you look over here at the right, where it says hey, the little orange one, it says slice result. It no longer says text, so it is no longer text. And like where these say text and say the name of it, say the name of the text I'm using. So it says text and the name of the font. That's how I knew by looking at the layers panel that it was sliced, because it says slice. And I have a question how to score a circle. I'll come back to that. You can, let's undo this. Okay, they're back together. You can see they're over here. You can advance, ungroup to letters. This means the layers are still connected, but they're separate. Now, if I want to change the font, I can no longer change the font of the whole word. I can double click on the letter and change that. I can change the font of that one. But because it's no longer one word, I separated it. So there's many reasons why you can't change the text, but that's why. If it's been welded, you can't change it. Let me undo and show you some welding and attaching with words. Okay, so this is back to where we started. Let's weld it. It welded the two layers into each other. You don't want to weld layers like that. Let's undo. There are reasons you want to weld letters, and I'll show you that in a second. Let's select them both. There's only two layers here. Let's select slice. So now it sliced it out of there. So you actually have the opposite effect here, which would not work if you're doing paper, because you'd have to piece all these little diamonds in the middle if you wanted to use those. And here it would be much easier with paper, but this one would be great with vinyl. So you just kind of created a whole new font by slicing those. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to go back. Somebody's asking, when will beta turn into Design Space 3? You must have just joined us. Design Space 3 will be out of beta on Tuesday. Okay, so we're back. What else? If we do attach, it's going to cut these all out the same color, kind of just like what Slice did, but you'll have both pieces. Let's undo. Let's select it again and flatten. So now it'll print this and it will cut out around that letters. Let's go ahead and click Make It. Oh, you can't really see the bleed. I was going to show you the bleed. Always leave bleed on. It's there for a reason. Okay, let's undo. Okay, If you guys have questions, put them in the comments in caps. I remember that question about scoring a circle. Did you guys hear that thunder? I love it. So we're going to go in a, let me change the color so you guys can see it better. Basic Shapes has the score line. So I'm going to take the score line. I'm going to put this at the top, size it. No, it's, I guess, right there. Okay, I want to make sure this is in the center. Well, if that's where I want to score, wherever you want to score. So I'm going to align, which is the button next to edit before arrange, and I'm going to center. So I know that score line is in the center. Okay, let's hide all this other stuff. Okay, so I think I have the score line there. Can anyone tell me in the comments what's going to happen now if I click Make It? I will let you guys know when July Mystery Box is coming as soon as I know. On social media, I shared that on Facebook mostly. Yes, flatten will always make it print and cut. There will be a mystery box or two this month. Oh, you want it to score around in a circle. I'll show you that. Okay, but first let me show you this. Let's click Make It. Oh, there's a score line on a mat by itself. Why the heck would I want that? And then this one is just a circle. That's not what we want. You have to select them both, click Attach. Got it? Then it will be together in one. That's how I learned how to use Attach. By just trying things and or noticing that, why is that not where I want it? So she wants it to score in a circle, not in a line. Okay, let's detach. Just get rid of that score line. So I have the circle here. I'm going to click over here, and now I have more options. I can click Cut, Write, Score, or Print. So let's hit Score. Now you have a circle scored. You can have it write it, or score it, cut it, or print it. It's that easy. You just click on it. Now it says no color options because scoring, there's no color to scoring. If I change it to write, it gives me the pen options to use, and I can change the color of the pen I use. And it doesn't matter what color you have here. You can put any color pen in, but this just helps you if you're using multiple colors, tells you what color to put in. Okay, the Creative Chica is asking if you have, say, 4 images in one file, come into Design Space 3. How do I save each file in Design Space? Okay, are you asking, like in Dreaming Tree, when you download their SVGs, you might have 3 different SVGs that go to one project. Is that what you're asking? And I know there's a delay. If that is what you're asking, because I know people have asked that, I'm just going to go ahead and answer it. The scoring has improved, let me say. Like through Dreaming Tree and SVG Cuts and some others, their SVGs come in separately. So what I do is I upload those to Design Space, and then I add those all to one project. Like, say I want these all in one project. So let's pretend these are SVGs from Dreaming Tree. They're not. But they all go to make one project. So I just click on all those. They're highlighted green. They're showing down here at the bottom. And then I click Insert Image. And then I can size these how I want. Say I want them like that. Well, anyway, then I can just save this as a project. Also, I have a whole video on this and uploading your image. Like most of those, like Dreaming Tree, they give you a picture of the finished image. Upload that image, upload that picture, and put it in your file. And then when you're looking at, I'm gonna cancel this. Let's go to projects. Then when you're looking at projects, they will look like this. They will look like the Make It Nows with a picture. Let's go to my projects. Let me see if I can find the one that I did. Oh, this one. See the Hyacinthia Dreaming Tree? I added that picture and put all of the SVG cuts behind the picture, made the picture on front. So if I want to cut that out, I can just click on that. I can hide the picture and then cut out my items. Let's go back here. Well, let's just do new. Okay, let me go back and yeah, all of my YouTube videos are always available on my YouTube channel. How do you write like the S shape? You can turn any image into write. So if I have an S, I can click over on it and I can make it right. Oh, somebody wanted me to go over the writing feature. They're having trouble with it. Okay, I hate things down there. Okay, so to get something to write in a single line, not bubble, because I can go over here to the layers panel, click on the circle and change it to write. That's not what I want. Sometimes that may be what you want, and that's all you have to do. But let's undo. Do you hear that thunder? We have to click this to bring up the fonts. And now I'm going to click over to at the top of the fonts, there's this gray stripe. It says fonts, then it says all, then it says system. That system are the fonts on your computer, and Cricut is Cricut fonts only. Or you can search fonts. If you know the name of it, just start typing in the search. Then there's a magnifying glass to search, and then there's the word filter. Click on filter. You will see my fonts. That will be fonts that you own, multi-layer fonts, single layer fonts, and writing. So you can choose the only fonts with writing styles. And they most likely will be all Cricut fonts. Not all of the Cricut fonts, but Cricut fonts that have, there's a really cool writing style font. What was that? Blossom, I think, was the name of it. Yeah, I thought it was really cute that I just noticed the other day. I really had no idea if it's new or if it's old, but I thought it was cute. So I'm going to make the letters go closer together. Isn't that cute? So that's how you find them with writing style, and then it's going to do it with the pen. Yeah, you can score soft metal. I've done that. I have video on embossing with the Cricut Explorer, and it's a butterfly emboss into metal. You have to, I'm not sure what you're saying, Louise. On the Dreaming Tree SVGs, you have to upload those all separately. Then they will be all in your upload the bottom. They'll be all listed there. Then once they're all uploaded, click on them all and insert them into a project, and then save that project with the name of the SVG file you purchased. You cannot make writing thicker, and it depends on what pen you're using. There's fine point pens and medium point pens. If it's smaller writing and you use a medium point pen, it seems pretty thick, sometimes too thick. So, I don't know, let's try. Let's just try to make it thicker. So I duplicated it. Over in the layers panel is the duplicate button. It's an awesome button. I use it a lot. So I could possibly make it thicker if, okay, see them separately? I'm putting it right on top, but moving it over just slightly. So it's going to go over it twice. If I were using the medium point, I think it would be very connected and you wouldn't see any space in there. With the fine point, you might, depending on how big this is. I say do a test. Just do a test on plain copy paper. Use the pens that you want to use and test it. Try it. See if it works. So you can move it, but you have to attach it. So if I were to click make it, it's going to give me 2 words in writing. So I'm going to select them both. The only option I have is to attach. So I'm going to click attach. And now when I click make it, it looks like thicker writing. So that's a possibility. That's something I just never tried or thought of. I know people have asked that before and I'm like, no, you can't really make it thicker, but I think I just did, only by trying. Yesterday I printed, let me show you. I printed my digital paper on Cricut glitter paper. This was white glitter paper, and I decided I'll see what happens. I'm gonna see if I can print on glitter paper. And I did. It worked out great. You have to let it dry for like 5 minutes or use a heat gun. And I printed something after I printed this because then I thought, oh, I wonder if any of the glitter doesn't really rub off very well. But on Cricut glitter paper, other glitter paper, maybe not try. But I thought, oh, I wonder how the heads are on my printer. So I printed out another sheet of paper, just regular paper, and it printed fine. And then I thought, I'll just go ahead and do a print head cleaning because, you know, all I have to do is push a button to do that. And I thought, I'm just going to do it just in case. So I did that afterwards, just as precaution. Yes, you do use the attach feature to add writing to an image. Or like I just did to itself. Okay, so we want to add that to an image or shape. I just use these shapes just because they're right here. And let's arrange this to the back. Let's click the lock, unlock it, then I can move this over. And let's say I want that centered. I click align, center. It's right in the center. And if I want this to write on here, and I'm not sure how to do it, it looks right? So let's just go ahead and click make it, see what happens. Oh, it's not right. This is how I learned. This is how you can learn. If it doesn't work, if it's not what you want, then you might need to click some more buttons. If I select them both, the only button I have down here, now I could group it. Let's group it. Because that sounds right? Because it moves together. You know, it all is selected together. So that might work, right? Let's hit make it, see what happens. Nope, didn't work. That's how I learned to attach and not group. Just by doing and seeing. If it doesn't work, try something else. Okay, so we have to do something else. Select them both and click attach. Attached kind of sounds like what it should be doing. You're attaching it, the writing, to the shape. When you think of the words, and don't just look at them as buttons, think attach. Or slice, you're cutting something. Flatten, you're flattening something together to make it one. And welding, you're welding it to one image. Like when people weld metal to each other, they're welding metal. So we have it attached. I know it's attached because I have it selected and the attach button turned into the detach button, and I click make it. That's what we want. So if you're clicking the wrong buttons, or if you don't remember, just try it. You can always undo and try again. Okay, somebody asked earlier how long this video was. It's now 1 hour and 15 minutes, sorry. Annette's asking how I got the different colors on the glitter paper. I printed them with my printer. Okay, I'm going to go back and read some of the comments. And there's something else I want to show you with the text and attaching. Right, Linda, she says that's how she learned slice yesterday. Just tried and got it. And Linda, you're probably not going to forget it. Now, by watching me do a video on how to do it, you're going to forget it. Let's be honest. You're not going to remember. You're going to remember, oh, what was that? And then you're going to spend an hour trying to find the video on how to do it. Although I do have the complete guide to Cricut Design Space with 2 indexes that you can just click on. If you need slice, you can just go down there and click slice, and it will show you really quick how to do the slice. So I do have that video. It's a 2-hour video. I do have the indexes so you can go back and refresh yourself. How do you add text to the inside of a card? Okay, let's find a card. Search. I wonder how many cards come up. Oh, I type in card, I get 6,425 image results. Let's just, okay, let's just pick this card. Doesn't matter what card, right? Okay, so I want to add some text. Let's add thank you. And I was not talking to Alexa. Okay. Let's change this to 2. Line spacing. Gotta shrink it up. So you have a card and you have the words. They're a little bit too big for the card, I think. Let's align these center. So you put them on the card. Now, what's going to happen is I want to attach this to the card, right? So let's select it all and attach. Now, I just wrote on the inside of the card. Let me find my guide. Okay, I just searched on Google because my computer is like brand new. I haven't even been to that website since I've redone my computer. So it's the second option if I search Guide to Design Space. The first option is just the video, but the index is here, melodylanedesigns.blogspot.com, and it's a page on there. So here's the link in the chat. Okay, let me go back. I lost my design space. Here we are. Okay. So did I answer the question on how to write inside of a card? So on this card, the left side of this card is also the inside. But sometimes I create things, oh, I don't want a card. Let's just go back to images. Say you just want to put a bee on it. So I would like maybe design this over here, but this is a piece that I would cut out and then put on the front. You see that? So this would be folded over and I would put this on the front. If you design so this side is the front of your card, and because of the way this is shaped, this may be the front of the card, which I think it is. So what I would do for this one instead is detach that, flip this over by choosing flip up here, flip horizontally, and then putting this thank you over on this side and attaching that. So then this will fold, this will be on the front. I would, oh, let's just move that to the front. Maybe put that be smaller, maybe rotate them, do whatever you want to do. But then this will actually be glued on the other side of this. So if you're using patterned paper and it's patterned on one side, or you want the bolder part on the other side, you would put the part you want for this card. All cards are different. You just have to kind of figure it out. For this card, you would put the bolder print on facing down, and the part you want on the inside facing up. Does that make sense? So the bottom or the front of this card is on the bottom of this, on the sticky part on the mat, and the inside of the card is on the top. I hope I'm making sense. You cannot write on both sides of the card. Unless you write, if you want to, you can make a square. Like if you wanted to write on the front of the card, you could like change this color. I wish that came in a different color. Let's detach this. Okay, let's send this to the back. Okay, you can put that on there. Now I'm holding the command key and this, and so it selected just those two. And I'm going to align center. And then I would put that there. If you wanted to also write on this. So you'd want to flip this back. And then you could write here too. Could attach writing to that and to the inside. That's the only way you can do both sides. Unless you figure out another way, share it with us. But most cards, if they're just square cards, it doesn't matter which is the front or the back. Hi, Carla from Portugal. Oh, let me show you. Sorry, this video is so long, but it might take a while to learn Design Space. Hello from us. Okay, so I don't want it writing style. So we got to change the font. Okay, because this is still writing style, it's still writing style, so I'm going to change it to regular. Okay, and I'm going to ungroup it. Now, each letter is on its own. I can change each letter, but I can't change them all. So, let's get rid of this. Let's hide this. Now in Design Space 3, you can hide the whole image over here in the Layers panel. You don't have to go separate. So I want this to cut. Let me just grab those both. Okay. Okay, first let me show you this. I want them even. They're not even, they're a mess. So I'm going to click Align and Align Bottom. There, now they're good. Hello from us. Okay, so there. I want it to cut out like that. I'm going to use vinyl, and I want it to look like that. What happens when I click Make It? That's a mess. It starts with the F, H. I don't even know what those are. E-O-O-R-S-U-M. That's not what I want at all. So I have a, whoops, sorry, clicked it. I have a few options. I can weld, attach, or flatten. These are my options I have here. So if I weld them, that's what I want. But what if I wanted to change the font sometime? Or what if I wanted to move them around in my next project? I can't do that because I welded them. So let's undo. I don't really want to weld. Okay. Let's attach. Click Make It. See what happens. That works. And I can always go back. Oh, keep hitting the button, sorry. Select it. I can always go back and detach it. So I can always change it. I can move it around. I can do what I want with that. That's better than weld. Or I could flatten. Flatten also makes it one image if you look over in the Layers panel, and it prints it. Let's click Make It. I know it's going to print out all these letters separately. Why would I want to do that? If I wanted to do that and print, I would just use black paper and cut it, not print it. So that's not what we want. This is how you learn. You just try. Let's undo. So the right option on this is to attach. Let's see why we would weld. When I'm using paper, which I use a lot, I like the letters. Oh, those were L's. Like they look like I's. I like to move them together. Sometimes I make them wobbly like this. So then it makes them one piece. I'm going to use the S to make the R and the F connect. So they're all connected a little bit. So then I'm going to weld. Now see all these letters over here in the Layers panel? There's a lot of letters there, right? So let's weld them. Now it's just these up here. It welded them to one piece. And we click Make It. Now let's undo. Welding is the right answer in this one, but let's see what happens if we were to attach it. Okay, I better change the color so you can see it better. Okay, and I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see it better. When you attach it, can you see these cut lines? Like see the H and the E? And see, these weren't connected, so the weld, I should have moved it closer. Oh, that's not connected either. Make them bigger, zoom in to make sure you're connected. But see, this F is through there, and these have those lines. You don't want those lines because they're gonna cut. These are all gonna cut individually if you attach it. It's gonna look okay here if you're not looking close. So let me weld them. And then you can see the difference. See how those lines are no longer there. Got that? Does that make sense of the difference of weld and attach? I backed up my files and stuff on an external hard drive. Okay, contour. I have this is welded, and so I'm going to click contour. This is a question I saw in one of the Cricut groups. They wanted like the E to not be cut out here. So because I have it all welded as one image, it doesn't always work if it's not one image. I can click that. Oh wait, that's not what I want. Click that and then click the X. And now that is missing there. So one way I use this is if I'm like doing a face or an animal or a person or different things that like have eyes, nose, and mouth. I don't want those tiny things to cut out, so I will contour out the eyes and nose and mouth maybe. And then I have little face stamps, the Peachy Keen stamps. I used to use those all the time, and I used to make little characters. So I would not cut out their face and then just use a stamp. So that was really useful for me to do the hide contour. So I could do it again. I could do all of these at the same time. And then when I'm done, click the X and all of those images are there. So it will hide cuts. Or now I can go back and if I change my mind, add those back in. Or I can just have those and cut out, just have those cut and just have the insides. Okay, that's not what I want in this project, but there may be something you do want to use that for. Yes, just try it. If you don't know what something does, try it. That is the point of this video. Face stamps by Peachy Keen. I have a whole bunch of them that I haven't used in years. I need to get back to doing some face stamps. They're fun. They have babies and monsters and they have bride and groom and just different expressions. Okay, I think I covered a lot. Is there any more questions? Remember 24 Hours of Crafts on HSN on Tuesday. It's Amazon Prime Day. And what else? So my video for this card is hopefully going to be done by Monday. I'm not sure what time Monday, but I will be working on it this weekend. All right, are there any more questions? You guys were awesome. This is a really long live video. Thanks, Bobby. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna go. I have a lot of replies to get to and questions to answer. The size on Design Space is pretty accurate. Design Space 3 will automatically update, but here's the link. So I'll put up here in the video, once this is done processing, the link to all of my other Design Space videos. Hopefully, well, they are shorter than this one. But you do learn a lot, even though there's some times where I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I have a Cricut Design Space group, Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane on Facebook. The link to that is in the description below. And in that group, you can ask questions, you can show screenshots so we can understand your questions better. We can answer you with screenshots, we can show you, and you not only have me answering, you have many other people who are experts and who know it well, who also like to help. That group is very helpful and informative. Emily, they fixed Cricut Design Space 3, so they will do large projects. So you should be able to cut my sunflower now in Cricut Design Space 3. I think they will bring back the canvas at some point, just not right away, because they have priorities. They're making this work for us. Debbie, I have a video on that, on how to save paper, because you can move things around on the mat, but sometimes this project is not a good example. Sometimes you can't move them, they move together. Like say this H and the M, if they were just by themselves and move them, they wouldn't separate sometimes. So what I do is I slice off, like if there's two images, one at the top and one at the bottom, and then you're wasting all the material, I slice them apart. And I have a video, it's an older video. It's probably 2 or 3 years old, but I show how to do it with the slice and it still works that way. Or you can duplicate your image and then use hide contour. You can click the contour and hide the cut on one, and then on the other one, hide the opposite cut. So you can do that to save paper. I have Melody Lane Vlogs channel that I don't really use anymore. I've just been doing my vlog videos on this channel because I asked and they just wanted it all on one channel. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna let you go. And I will be putting out a few more videos this week. And then next Saturday, we will do 11 a.m. live again. If you have a preference of what you want me to show you, put it in the comments below. After the replay, put them in the comments. And I will try to do my best to accommodate everybody. All right, guys. Bye. Let me go back. Now I got to turn this off. Where do we go?